You don't believe that you're going to find better. You believe the relationship that you're in is as good as it's going to get because he's told you that. He's told you that he's as good as you're going to get. He's told you that you're not worth it, that you don't have the value, that no one's going to love you, no one's going to take care of you. The guy in your life right now, he knows that you're not going to leave. And that's why he keeps treating you in such an awful way. That's why he keeps acting a certain way. And I know this because that's who I used to be. That's the guy that used to show up in my life. I would do this to other people. I would do this to my wife. There was a moment in my life where I realized that I could do whatever I wanted and she wouldn't leave because she was stuck. She was used to me being here. She was at a place that she was trauma bonded with me. And that's when everything started to change because the mask could drop. I no longer had to pretend that I needed to look or act or be a certain way, but I could just do whatever. This is what the guy in your life is doing. Because once you get to the place that you become trapped, once you get to the place that you're more afraid of leaving than you are of staying, he doesn't have to try anymore. He doesn't put forth any effort at all. Then as a result, you still stay stuck. And if you're still in that relationship, he's had this moment too, where he's known and he's realized that he's got you under lock and key. He's got you under control. And as a result, he stops trying. He stops putting in forth any effort. You might ask yourself, why doesn't he put in any effort anymore? Why doesn't he actually show up? Why doesn't he care when you cry? Why does he seem frustrated with your emotions, inconvenienced? Why he doesn't flinch when you tell him how much he's hurting you? Because there's a piece that he already knows, and he doesn't care. And he knows that no matter how much he hurts you, you've proven over a period of time that no matter what he does or how bad it gets, you would stay. You would give him another chance. You would forgive him. Maybe it was the first time you forgave him for crossing the line, for crossing a boundary. Maybe it was the time when you begged him to be able to fix things after he hurt you. And he started to realize that he had power and control over you. He was able to manipulate and control the situation. Maybe it's the time that he saw you break down and you still chose him. Maybe it's the time that he put something in your life that affected you, that made you react and respond in a negative way. And then he came in and saved you from that exact problem that he caused. And then he realized he's in control of the entire narrative. He's in control over you. In that moment, that's when he knows that he has you. When he has control, manipulation over the entire piece of your life and your world. And he uses all of that against you. He uses it to confuse you, uses it to keep you stuck. And what he does many times is he'll start to test different things to see how much you'll tolerate. It's testing your boundaries, testing to see how much will she actually put up with. It's tiny things. It'll first be just a little lie, just a small put down, a snide remark, a small comment, just to see how are you going to respond. A broken promise, something that he said he was going to do, and then he fell back and he's like, nope, I forgot, I didn't do it. And then you forgave him and he pushed a little bit further. He pushed a little bit harder. His lies got a little bit bigger. He got more verbose in what he was saying and what he was doing. The insults started coming and they got more and more cruel. The manipulation got deeper. All of these things started to affect you more and more. And he started to push these, until one day you looked around, you realized that you were in too deep. That you were confused, that you were completely lost because of it. Do you see this in your world? Like when you look in your world right now, do you see all the lines that he's crossed, all the boundaries that he's broken, all the things that you said early on, I will not be this person, I won't have a person like this in my life. My wife was the same way. She originally said, I won't be with a guy who cheats. But then she was with me after I cheated and cheated and cheated and cheated and cheated. Because she was at a place where she felt so confused, so lost, and she felt stuck. Before she finally left, that was the peace that she was in. She got to the place that she was afraid to leave. And that's what he's doing to you as well. He has you confused and lost, but he also has you afraid. Because the worse he treats you, the harder it becomes for you to actually walk away. And it seems kind of weird. You think, well, if he's treating me worse, it'd probably be easier for me to leave. But it's not. He's rewired your mindset. He's rewired what you think even about you. You're at the point where you're watching this and you're like, I don't even know if I trust anyone anymore. I don't even know if I trust my own thoughts anymore. You don't believe that you're going to find better. You believe the relationship that you're in is as good as it's going to get because he's told you that. He's told you that he's as good as you're going to get. He's told you that you're not worth it, that you don't have the value, that no one's going to love you, no one's going to take care of you. Like, he's told you so many different lies to keep you trapped and keep you stuck. You might even think that you're not strong enough to leave. You're like, I don't think this is something that I can actually leave. That's what he wants. He wants you to have all these doubts and confusions that leave you stuck, that leave you trapped, that leave you in a place that make you too afraid to take the first step, that make you too afraid to take the next step for you in the healing space. But instead, he'd rather keep you stuck, he'd rather keep you confused, and he'd rather still have control over his image, over you. You might have had times where you've already tried to pull away. You've tried to go no contact. You've tried to leave. And every time you've done this, he's found unique ways to be able to punish you. Once you start standing up for yourself, he finds a way to be able to put you back into your place, remind you of who you are, of how you're worthless, remind you that you're not smart enough, that you're not good enough. Now, you could do it through a lot of different ways. He could do it through love bombing and making you think that he's actually changed, that something's different. He could do it through cruelty and just tearing you down until you feel back in the place that you're weak again. He can do it again through fear, making you think and believe that leaving him will make your life even worse. Because what are you going to do? How are you going to move? And all of these doubts and fears leave you stuck. No matter what different type of tactic he's using on you right now, the goal is the same. I need to keep you stuck in the relationship so you don't leave and make me look bad. So you don't leave and then I lose supply. That's all the aspect. There's a piece of you that right now, as you're watching this, you resonate because you realize that what I'm talking about is your life. I'm talking about the situation that you're currently in. But you might be believing a couple things right now deep down inside that's keeping you stuck, that's keeping you in the relationship. Not even him, but it's stuff that you believe.
Hey, just want to jump in here really quick and say you might have been watching my content for a period of time, but you haven't taken the next step. You haven't taken the next moment, the next idea, the next thought to actually change your life. And I want to provide you with a couple different options. One of the ways is to be able to work with me personally inside the Thriver Intensive. What I do inside of there is help you break the trauma bond, eradicate the triggers, and move forward in the healing process. You got 24/7 access to me. You've got access to other women who are going through it, access to other coaches, but a support system that you need to finally break free once and for all, and to make sure that you don't go back, that you don't interact with them again, and that you finally find peace. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about this, then click on the link down below, but it'll be rawmotivation.com/breakthrough. You'll be able to hear a little bit from me, you'll be able to hear a little bit from my wife, and be able to hear a little bit more about what I do to help you move forward. If that resonates with you, click on the link below, rawmotivations.com/breakthrough.
But you might be believing a couple things right now deep down inside that's keeping you stuck, that's keeping you in the relationship. Not even him, but it's stuff that you believe. Maybe it's a belief deep down that you think that he can change. And you've been telling yourself this for such a long period of time, hoping and praying and thinking that something might be different, while at the same time you're ignoring the facts that he hasn't made any effort to change. He hasn't shown any demonstration that he's even working on himself. If anything, he keeps having all these promises, all these things he keeps saying, but none of it matches with his actions. Maybe you're at the place right now where you think if you just love him enough, change enough, do enough, fight for him enough, prove yourself enough, that he'll finally wake up. He'll finally start to treat you the way that you deserve. But when you look at it, you start to realize no matter what you've changed, shifted, or done differently, it hasn't changed anything. You need to understand he won't change for you. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't respect you. And it's evidenced by his actions. He's not going to change. He's not going to work on himself because he knows he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to change anything about himself, and you will stay exactly where you currently are. He knows you'll keep coming back to him. He knows you'll be stuck inside the relationship. He's already laid all the foundation, so he knows you're not going to do anything. Because as long as you're hoping for there to be a better version of him, he never has to become one. He can just sit back and let hope do the work to fully leave you trapped and leave you stuck. I need you to understand that he's not going to change. And if that reality is hard for you to accept, I need you to look at the piece of the facts. What is the actual facts, the demonstration, the evidence in your life and in the relationship that show you that he's capable of change? Is he capable of change? Yes, everybody is. Is he changing? No. That's the problem. Is you're latched onto this piece of hope, thinking that he has the capability of change, and that's 100% true. But you've taken hope and you've made that a fact. He is going to change. When the reality is, if you look at the past several years, he has made no effort. He has said words, but he has made no effort to change. You don't see anything different, and you're still battling with the same confusion, if not worse, than what it was initially. Stop believing hope is your facts. Your facts are not hope. That's how you feel. Those are emotions that sometimes get into the picture and cloud what's actually going on. And so as a result, you stay and you wait. I need you to understand you need to stop believing him. You've waited long enough. You've given him chance after chance after chance after chance. You've cried, you've begged, you've explained, you've reasoned, and you're still left in the same exact place where he hasn't changed and he's exactly the same. Because this is who he is. And he's unwilling to be honest about who he actually is. He's unwilling to be transparent about what's going on. He's unwilling to be vulnerable. And so as a result, you have to take a decision for you. Are you going to try to win at his game, or are you going to stop playing his game and actually shift to a piece where you grow and you develop you? This means you need to start limiting his access to you. You need to limit it to a place of saying, hey, I'm going to pull back so that he doesn't have access to me 24/7. This could be going no contact. But this could just be simply taking your phone and putting on Do Not Disturb, shutting your phone off when you're at work so you can actually focus and concentrate. You have to create a buffer in between you and him, because every time you let him back in, he reminds you of why you stayed in the first place, of why you're not good enough, of why you're not smart enough. He's going to do different things to trigger you. You have to create a buffer in order to be able to heal. And you also have to put yourself around other people that see you for who you really are. You might have friends and family that just don't get it and don't understand the relationship that you're in. In fact, they're confused and they're well-intentioned in their advice, but when they come and they just say, you need to move on, he was toxic, he was abusive, like, you just need to move on, get over it. It doesn't really help. I've seen people, and I've talked to thousands of people that have come even from therapy, and they've come to Raw Motivation simply because the therapist didn't give them tools to actually move forward. But instead it was like, why are we still talking about this? Like, there was a frustration because the therapist couldn't figure out how to help the person move. This is why you need people in your life that actually knows and understands this stuff. If you have people in your life that don't get it, it's like a person who's never been an addict or never struggled with addiction, talking to an addict and be like, just stop. Like, what's the big deal? Just stop. They have no clue because they've never dealt with it to the level that you dealt with it. They've never been in a toxic relationship. So their advice, as well-intentioned as it is, doesn't help. In fact, it almost seems like low-key abusive. Like, they don't understand. They don't get it. You need people in your life that can remind you of who you actually are, apart from him, apart from what he's told you, apart from what he's tried to influence and rewire your mindset to tell you this is what it is. You also need a system to be able to help build you from the ground up. This is why I created the Thriver community in 2 parts to actually walk you through the healing process, how to be able to break the trauma bond and eradicate the triggers, and how to be able to help you develop healthy boundaries and know who you are. Because the piece of you walking away is not just about leaving. It's about you actually learning how to become the better version of yourself, the version that he tried to destroy, version that he tried to eradicate completely. If you're ready to stop hoping that he's going to change and start choosing you, then this is your next step. Go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Watch the video there to understand some of the mistakes that you might be making and wondering why you're still stuck. Fill out the application and book a call. It's a free call for us to be able to talk and be able to build a plan of what's currently happening in your life and how to help you get to freedom. He's done this for such a long period of time. He stopped trying to be good for you. He stopped trying to care. He stopped all of these things. He lowered the mask and has been treating you like shit for such a long period of time. So the question is, when will you wake up and make a choice for you? For your healing, for your growth. No longer waiting for him, but looking to you. Go to rawmotivations.com today. Let's have a conversation.
You've been told it's all your fault, and that makes you feel crazy. No one understands you, and that leaves you in a place of being alone. You've tried to break free multiple times, and that leaves you helpless because nothing you've done has actually worked. It hasn't actually got you free or liberated from this toxic relationship. So you feel crazy, alone, and hopeless. Guess what? That's a lie. Because all it is how you've been raised and conditioned inside of this abusive relationship over and over. And as a result, you've sacrificed your growth, you've sacrificed your worth, and you've been trapped inside of a toxic relationship. What if I showed you the path to freedom? A way for you to actually get free mentally and emotionally from the toxicity that's happening right here, right now. You deserve more. You deserve to be able to heal. And I want to help you with that. If I can help you with that, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a call there and let's talk.